Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Many Thoughts with Dr. T. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a good week. I had a good week as well. I, kind of. I had a good week. I wanted to get my hair dyed and I wanted to get it dyed like a light brown, kind of like a honey almost. And I know we've all been there as women. Like you get your hair done, you have a vision, right? You get your hair done and they spin the chair around, they give you the mirror, and you're like, oh, I love it. And you really don't. So that's what had happened to me. Um, my hair is like you really can't tell. This is not doing it justice, but it's like red. It looked like burgundy, purple. It's so not what I wanted. So if y'all see me in episode 3 of braids, then you know why. But a lot of people, I've got a lot of compliments about it though, and that's cool. But you still want to love it yourself, and I don't love it, so I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. I got to the point where I was just gonna cut it off and and start over, and so many people talked me out of it. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just get braids for like 2 months and let it grow out a little bit. So we'll see. But anyway, let's get into today's episode, which is about protecting your earth suit. And that is a little phrase that I coined that I'll talk to you guys more about in a second. All right, so let's get into the mini thought of today, which is why are the things that taste so good so bad? Have you guys ever wondered that? That's one of the thoughts that swirl around in my head. It's like, why can't salad be bad for you, right? Like, girl, if I was you, I wouldn't eat all that salad. You know that salad bad for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like with salad and kale, water, that's good for you. But if you want a Cinnabon, then you're wrong. You see what I'm saying? So I wish it was the opposite. I wish things that taste good were also good for you. So that's just a thought that swirls around in my head. So we'll get into this a little bit more. And I wanted to share with y'all my favorite foods. And by favorite foods, I mean that I could eat these three things every day for every meal for the rest of my life and I'd be good. Okay, these are my favorite foods. And so I have a ground beef burrito. I love Mexican in general, right? So I can do hard shell, soft shell, burrito, enchilada, quesadilla, rice and beans, all of that. Gotta have cheese sauce though. Gotta have extra cheese sauce. So ground beef, Mexican in general, love it. Same thing with pizza. Love pizza. And I'm not bougie when it comes to pizza. I could eat pizza from a gas station, concession stand, cafeteria. Doesn't matter. I will eat pizza from anywhere. Okay. I love pizza. And the same thing with burgers. Love burgers, especially just off the grill or from like a Five Guys or something like that. So these are some of my very favorite foods. And then my favorite snacks. Oh my goodness, we have a Cinnabon at our mall, and I don't know how you even go to the mall and not stop by the Cinnabon shop. Like I don't even know how. I love me a good Cinnabon. Chocolate chip cookies are a staple for me as well, and not the ones out the pack, off the shelf. They have to be fresh out of the oven. Okay, so I had to always have some cookie dough in the fridge at all times. I normally eat that as a little snack at nighttime. And then also chocolate cake. So yellow cake with the chocolate icing. Oh my goodness. That's my favorite too. So these are some of my favorite foods. And you guys can let me know in the comments if yours is similar or you have some different ones. But these are my all-time favorites. And I know I'm smaller, but I've always been able to put down a plate of food. I don't even know why or what it is, but I can eat, okay? And so, what I want to talk about today, when I think about my life and just the longevity and how long I want to live, and I know it's ultimately not up to me, but I always said I want to live till I'm 100, and I just want to die peacefully in my sleep. That's all I want, right? I want to live until I'm 100. I already told their babies, but I'm gonna tell my sons don't try to take my keys. I still want to be driving when I'm 100, living on my own. My husband, Imma still be doing all the things. Imma be active, all of that. So that's my vision, my dream for myself. And I think I have a good shot at doing that because of my, lineage. So I wanna talk about my lineage for a quick second on my mother's side. Alright, so my mom is 63, okay, and my grandmother, who's also still living, is 86. And apologies if you guys did not want me to talk about your age in public. So I apologize. And what is it about that? Why? Because I know it's not polite to ask women their age. So I honestly, I don't know why. Maybe when I get older, I'll understand. So sorry, mom and grandma. Uh, and then my great grandmother, she lived to be 93. Okay. And this is a picture of us at my wedding. So I always cherish this 4 generations. So it was my mom, my grandmother, and my great grandma. And the picture on the side is where I get my comedic side from. She was always cracking jokes all the time as well. And so, yeah, so that's my great grandmother. And then my 2 times great grandmother, I believe she lived 99. If it's not 99, it was in her 90s. So she lived an extremely long time as well. Now my 3 times great grandmother, she passed away at 42, but she had some type of, I guess you call it a disease. It's something that today would be totally preventable, but back then, it was not. They didn't know too much about it, and so she unfortunately died a little bit early. But the coolest thing, y'all, my 4 times great grandmother, and you can tell I've been on ancestry.com. My grandma Alethea. All right, so she was born in 1836, which means she was a slave. She was born a slave, but she lived to be 115 years old. Isn't that amazing? And I was able, through some of my research, to find these newspaper clippings of her, because of course, even today, that's amazing. Even more so back then. And so she was in the paper a lot for her old age. So I think that's really, really cool, and it makes me excited to know that I have a lineage, and I can possibly try to get to 100. So that is a little bit about my lineage. So that brings us to our talk today about our earth suit. And I call our earth suit, it's just your body, your physical body. And, it got me to thinking I want to live a long time. But I also understand that if once we damage our body to a certain extent, we can't stay here anymore. We got to leave. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Right. And I did have to realize that was not in the best health. At one point I was on, I don't know, up to probably 3 different blood pressure medications I was taking at one time, trying to get my blood pressure down. And, I wasn't serious about it. I might take it one week and forget the next. And, just wasn't serious about it. I was obese. I was way overweight for my little frame. And so I just realized that I got to do a better job of protecting my earth suit if I indeed want to live till I'm 100. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. Just a little bit about what I've learned, okay, through my journey to get healthier. But before we start, I have just a quick disclaimer that I need to read, okay? In this very funny voice.
The information shared on this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. My opinions are not affiliated with any institutions, businesses, or certifications. This podcast does not provide medical advice, and any health related decisions should be made in consultation with your personal healthcare provider. By listening, you acknowledge that you take full responsibility for your own actions.
Simply put, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a health coach, anything like that. So don't start or stop anything because of anything you hear today. Okay, I'm not responsible. This is just for entertainment. All right, so I just had to get that out the way. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay, so the biggest thing that I want to talk about, and some people may know about this, some people may not. I'm sure you've heard the word calories, but I wanted to dig a little bit deeper to tell you about why calories are so important. So basically, each one of us has a certain number of calories that our body needs just to maintain our weight, right? And each one of our numbers are different. It's based on your height, your weight, and your age. Okay, so we each have a certain number of calories that we have to maintain our weight. Now, if we have over that amount of calories every day for an extended amount of time, you're going to gain weight. If you have under that amount of calories for an extended time, you're going to lose weight, right? So it's really that simple. You have to try to, if you want to lose weight, you have to try to be in a calorie deficit. Okay. So that is what I want to talk to you guys today about. And I'm going to start by showing you my numbers. So my number is 1,944, 1944. Okay. That's my maintenance weight. So if I enjoy the weight I'm at right now, I just got to make sure, I just got to try to stay at that amount of calories for more days than not. Now, I'm not going to hit it exactly, but stay around in the ballpark. If I want to lose weight, let's say a half a pound a week, then I need to drop that to about 1694. But a half a pound, I wouldn't even really recognize that, right? We want to lose weight pretty quickly. So I would say I'm trying to lose about a pound a week. So that means I got to drop down to 1,444 calories. And it's so unfair because, again, it's based on your height, your weight and age. And since I'm so short, I'm not able to have a lot of calories. Like me and my husband can eat the same thing and I'm gonna gain 2 pounds and he might lose weight. I think I checked his number just to see what it was. It was like 3,100 or something. It's really not fair. And so, what I want you guys to do is pause the video right now because I want you to see what your number is because I want you to be aware. Go to calculator.net, and calculator.net has like all these different cool calculators you can use, but we want to look at the calorie calculator. So go look under the fitness and health calculators, and then the second one should be calorie calculator. And it takes like 10 seconds. Again, it's just going to ask for your height, your age, and your weight. Okay. And then it's going to give you these same three numbers like I have. Okay. So pause the video, make sure you come back, but pause the video and check that out and see what your numbers are. All right. So hopefully you have your numbers so you know what you need to, the calories, amount of calories you need. And everybody's different. You may want to maintain your weight and you may want to gain weight. Right. So if you want to gain weight, that means that I would need to be over that maintenance number that I have right there. But I'm definitely not trying to gain weight. I've never been trying to gain weight in my life. So that's a really good problem to have. I remember when I met my husband, he was trying to gain weight and I had never met anybody that was trying to gain weight. He was he 200 pounds when I met him? So he was like guzzling those big protein shakes and going to the gym and but after we started dating, he put on like 30 pounds like that. Cause like I said, I love to eat. So that's like all we did. Uh okay, so you say 1,444. I mean, that sounds like a big number. Like, what's the problem? Let me tell you what the problem is. Let's go back to my favorite foods. Y'all, all I have, this is for a whole day. If I want to lose weight, 1,444. And if anybody has less than me, put it in the chat. I'd be very surprised. I'm sure y'all all have way more than me. I don't have a lot to work with per day. I gotta eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and maybe a couple of snacks with 1,444 calories. So let's go back to my favorite foods and let's see how many calories they have in it. Your average ground beef burrito, 578 calories. Isn't that crazy? And I'm just not gonna eat the beef burrito by itself. I'm gonna have some rice and beans or something, right? That's why I was always gaining weight. Pizza. Let's look at pizza. One slice of pizza has 280 calories. That's one slice. How many times have you ordered a pizza and ate one slice? Never, right? What me and my husband would do, I'll get a pizza, he get a pizza, and we normally eat half of it that night and refrigerate the other half and eat that the next day. Four slices of pizza, 1,120 calories. I didn't know this, y'all. I didn't know why I wasn't losing weight. Right? I was like, it's just a little ground beef burrito. It's just a pizza. 1,120 calories for four slices. That was like dinner. I had already eaten breakfast and lunch, right? So again, I only have 1444. And then your average burger, or I'll say Five Guys a little more than average, you're looking at 540 calories. And how many people does eat a hamburger by itself? You're going to have a drink, you're going to have fries, it's another 300 for the fries. And this is what I'm saying, y'all. This is the mini thought. This is why I'm upset about this whole thing. Because it's like, why? Why can't a pizza be 2 calories? I don't understand. All right, let's check out my snacks and see what they got. So you remember, Cinnabon, my favorite. Can't go to the mall without it. Just say it out loud. What do you think a cinnamon bun is? Just how many calories? You are not gonna believe this. When I seen this, look at this, y'all. 880 calories. Can you believe that? In one Cinnabon. And remember, I only got 1,400, and this would just be a dessert. I would still have to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 880 calories. That's insane. Chocolate chip cookies are a little bit better. One is 85 calories. I normally would have 3 or 4. So I kind of sort of get away with that. But again, this isn't a meal. This is just a dessert. I'm still having to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner and account for those calories as well. And then chocolate cake is 280 calories for one slice. Okay. And so, it's just tough. That's why it's so tough to lose weight because everything has so many crazy calories in it. And I told y'all on episode 1, my favorite drink is a Coca-Cola. Can you believe it? This is not even eating. This is a beverage. 240 calories. Crazy, man. And this is why I couldn't win. This is why I could not lose weight. Because I used to get like a 2 liter, you know what I'm saying? And I could drink a 2 liter in probably like 2 or 3 days. I don't even want to know how many calories are in a 2 liter. This is just for the little 20 ounce. So now that you know your number, what you have to do is start looking on the back of labels and the stuff that you're eating. My thing now is I try my best not to drink my calories. I rather eat them. And so once I realized how many calories were in drinks, were in like a fruit punch. I used to always do like a Minute Maid fruit punch, Coke, all this other stuff. I really just stick to water now. It's not even on a health thing. It's just like I don't want to drink my calories. And so yeah, man, it's tough out here. So this is my meal plan. This is if you're wondering, this is what I had to end up doing to try to stay within my calorie budget. So for breakfast, I do a protein shake. Um I can't think off the top of my head how many calories. It's not that bad. It might be like 180 or something like that. So it's not that bad. And, I just don't have time in the morning to be cooking and making breakfast. So it's just something quick that I can grab while I'm at my desk or, when I'm in the car. And then for lunch, I try to do a protein. and I mix these up just so I don't get tired of it. So one week I might have salmon, the next I might have some little drumettes, and then the next I might do a chicken breast. And I just throw those in the air fryer with some fries for 15 minutes and it's done. So that's what I eat during the week. And I do that on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I may go out and get something just to break the week up. And then Thursday and Friday, I'll do this again. Normally on Fridays, I'll get some fried fish from somewhere. And then for my dinner, I didn't switch up my dinner. So whatever we normally have for dinner, we have, but I just stopped eating so much of it. So instead of having 3 tacos, I'll have two. Instead of having 2 hot dogs, I have one. So I just tried to shrink my portion size a little bit. So this is the way that I have to try to stay within those small amount of calories that they give. And then, like I was telling you, I stopped drinking my calories. But I know y'all gonna think this is Minute Maid, zero sugar. So I know the first thing you're thinking is, ew, that's nasty, aftertaste, gross. It's not, y'all. I'm telling you, please. The next time you go to the store, it's like $3. Just get it. Just try it. I'm telling you, it is so good. Me and my husband were very surprised. I just got it. The zero sugar is a part of it too. No sugar, 5 calories. I was like, I can drink as much as I want. And so that's what we've been doing, and they have all different types of flavors. So we normally get the, fruit punch, the mango, strawberry lemonade, and pineapple. So those are the 4 that I just keep at the house, and, that way I don't have to feel guilty about drinking a beverage other than water. And so just try it out. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. Alright, and then the other thing that you can do is because I realized that am I never gonna eat another pizza? Am I never gonna drink another Coke? Am I never gonna have another Cinnabon? Like, of course I am, right? And so the way I look at it is it's okay. Like you're not gonna be perfect. As long as you try to hit your calorie budget, 85% of the time, I feel like you're doing good. And that's what I try to do. I don't try to be perfect and beat myself up if, I have something, bad or whatever. And so one of the things you can do is I call it creating your own cheat code. So for example, I told you I love pizza, but pizza has a lot of calories. And if I get a pizza, I'm going to want to eat more than one slice. And so one of the cheat codes I have for pizza is that whenever I have a taste for pizza, instead of getting a whole pizza, I get a personal pan from Pizza Hut. Now, 600 calories is still a lot, but we're talking about cheating here. But so it's still a lot, but I'm not totally blowing it. You see what I'm saying? Because think I said 4 slices was like 1,200 calories, and then I would warm it up the next day and do the same thing. So instead of doing that, I just get a personal pan pizza. It's fulfilling. I still get that taste I'm looking for, and I'm not totally blowing my calorie budget out the water. So that's my cheat for pizza. For a burger, if I really have a taste for a burger, instead of going to Five Guys and getting a Whopper, I just go wherever I want, but I just get a kids meal. You see what I'm saying? So this whole kids meal altogether is 500 calories, and I normally wouldn't drink the drink anyway. I would just get just eat the burger and a little bit of the fries. So again, I'm getting that taste that I want, but I'm not blowing my calorie budget. And then the Cinnabon. So Cinnabon, they actually have mini buns. Okay. So the mini buns are 350 calories. But it's kind of to the point now where that mini bun, it's like 2 bites. Like to me, it's almost not even worth the calories. So I'm not gonna lie, I want to say last 3 times I've been to the mall, I have not went by there. Cause that's all I can think about is the calories. I'm like, is it worth those 3 bites? Like, you know what I'm saying? But so that's just an example. You can still have the things that you love. You still have the things you want. Just think of different ways that you can eat it, right? Is there a smaller size, a smaller portion that you can have it in, right? And just different replacements like that. So that's what I do to still get the taste, but not blow my calorie budget. But just being transparent with y'all, and I told you I'm not perfect. This weekend, and shout out to my parents. They're taking our boys this weekend, so we're gonna have a weekend free. And I'm gonna gain 2 pounds, like I already know. My mom already hooked up the chocolate cake. You know what I'm saying? So that's on deck. We're having stuffed crust pizza tonight, right? We're going out tomorrow. And so I already know. But who is it? Donnie McClurkin. If you fall down, you just got to get back up. So Monday, I'm gonna be back on it like nothing ever happened. See what I'm saying? So it's okay. It's okay. You don't got to eat perfect all the time. You don't. Just about 85% of the time. And if you have a day where you slip up and you're doing the most, just the next day, start afresh. Okay. All right. So, and another thing that you can do to when you think about, cheating or whatever, is I kind of treat myself like with the Coca-Cola, it's so many calories. So what I do is I only have Coca-Cola if I go out to eat, and I don't go out to eat often. So that's when I have my Coca-Cola. So think of some certain triggers, like when this happens, then I'll treat myself and have this, so you can do it like that. So that's when I drink Coke when I go out. Or even you can do it as a reward. So I know I wanna start reading more, reading more books. My time is so limited, but I wanna do better at that. So that might be a thing. I say, okay, every time I complete a book or complete 2 chapters, 3 chapters, I'll have a Cinnabon. So that's another way you can kinda work in those cheat foods as well. And get you so you might be asking like, "Okay, I know my number now, but how will I know, how many calories are in all these foods?" So, a quick way you can do it is just Google it. So, if you go into Chick-fil-A and you wanna get the 8-piece, count nuggets, right, you can just Google that real quick, like Chick-fil-A 8-piece count nuggets, calories, boom, and it'll tell you how many. And then there's if you're really techy, there's a great app that I use called Lose It. Okay. And it allows you to track your calories. And I'll show it to you real quick here. Okay, so and this is an app that's on your phone, but I'm just showing it on the browser right here. So basically, when you sign up for Lose It, it'll ask you like, "Hey, what's your goal weight?" Again, it'll ask you for your height and your weight and your age, just like you did on that calculator, so it can know how many calories you should have. And then you can say, "Hey, I'm trying to lose half a pound a week, a pound, 2 pounds," and it'll say, "Okay, cool. So this is your calorie budget." So at one point, I was my calorie budget was 1,200 that I could like never hit. But anyway, just for demonstration purposes, this is really cool because it keeps a running total during the day of how many calories you have left. Okay. So let's say, for example, I told you guys I drink a protein shake for breakfast. So I'll click breakfast, and I think the brand of my protein shake is like OWN or something like that. Boom, push add, and so you see it says 170 calories, but then here is how many I have left. So remember, I started with 1,200. So instead of me having to do that math in my head, it'll just say, oh, okay, you got 1030 left. Boom, easy. And then for lunch, again, you can come here, you can click lunch, and I'm gonna just say, let's just say I had salmon, air fried salmon, boom. And, it'll say serving size. If you had two, you can do that. It'll double it or whatever. So you can change that here. So I'll do add food. So that's 240. So it's like, oh, now I got 790 left for the rest of the day. And let's say for dinner, I have I don't know, let's say meatloaf or something with ketchup. All right. So I'm gonna add that. That's 255. So now I have 535 left, right? So it's just a really good app. That way, you can just keep track and it'll help you with your decision making. Because if you know you have 500 left, well, I can't go to the mall and get a Cinnabon, right? Because I know I'm going to be over. And so it really helps you with that. But the coolest thing I like about this app is if you go to, let's just say for lunch, right? You see up here, it has supermarkets and it has restaurants. So this is really, really cool. So for example, and I mean, it pretty much almost has any restaurant you can think of, man, in here. So let's just say you were going to Applebee's. I don't know. So, when I sit down, and really I do this before I go, but if you're sitting down at Applebee's and you have the menu, You also can look on here and say you're about to get some mozzarella sticks. Like you always get mozzarella sticks, right? So you click on here and you're like, oh shoot, one stick is 112 calories, and I'm about to have four, right? So then you so let's see how much four would be. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this in another screen here. Oops. Here you go. Right? So 4 is 448 calories, right? So again, it just helps you to think twice. And like I said, it has so many different restaurants in here. So I normally do this like before I even go somewhere, I'll just check on here and say, okay, get my plan together. Like, okay, I'm not having the sticks today. Let me instead have, I don't know, the chicken or something like that. So yeah, it just has everything: chicken fried steak with mashed potatoes and gravy. Look at that, 1,200 calories. Crazy. So, yeah, that's really good. You can click on restaurants, and again, it just helps you to see. And you can just go on there and look on your favorite restaurants and the things you normally eat, right? So I told you my favorite foods and snacks. You can go in there and just look at some of yours. Um, or like I said, if you want to do what I just did, it's just on the search foods tab. If you just want to put it in there. But if you know it's from a specific restaurant, you can do that. And they have supermarkets. So let's say you go to, whatever the supermarket is in your area, and it doesn't matter the name of it, but for example, my cookies, like that cookie dough, that would come from a supermarket. So I could put in the brand, which is Pillsbury. All right. And then let's see if we can find it here. So they got brown. This is everything that Pillsbury makes, their cake and all that type of stuff. So if we go down to cookies, chocolate chip cookies, here we go. Yep. So if Imma eat 3 and a half, how you gonna eat 3 and a half? So 3 cookies is about 390, and then you can add that. So anyway, it's a really, really cool tool, so that you are aware of the calories that are in the food that you are eating, and not only that, like I said, it keeps a running total for you, okay? So let's just say I added that and, I'm like, "Ah, man, I only have 145 left." The cool thing is you can also add your exercise. So that was food, add exercise. And look what happens when you add exercise. So let's just say, I burned about 400 calories this morning, and I did. You add your exercise, and look at that, boom, it went up. So that's the cool thing about exercise, and that's why exercise is so important because it gives you more calories. So that 400, it was like, "Oh, you exercise? All right, we'll get that back to you." So instead of me having 100, now I got 500. See what I'm saying? And that's when I really was like, "Oh," and that's when I started exercising even more so I could get more calories. Now, that's not exactly how you should think about it, but that's how I think about it because I don't get a lot of calories as it is with that 1,400. An analogy is like, let's say you had $10 and somebody gives you another $10, right? Well, some people might say, well, you need to save that extra 10. Well, I'm gonna say, well, now I got 20 to spend. That's how I think about it. Okay. So that's again, you don't have to, you can still stay I could still stay with my 1,400 and just let that 400, that extra 400 build and build, and I would lose weight quicker. But I just use it to eat a little bit more. So you can do whichever one that you would like to do. Okay. So, as I just stated, exercising is the cheat code for additional calories, right? And that's why exercising is so cool. Not only is it good for your body, but it does allow you to have just a little bit more if you need to eat a little bit more like myself. Okay. But when you think about exercising, probably the first image that comes to your mind is this, right? A Planet Fitness, a Gold's Gym, or something like that. But I have never been able to go to a gym like this and just hop on a treadmill and run or hop on a elliptical. Like that's never been my thing. So I just want to dispel the myth that this is the only way you can exercise. You got to go to a gym. That's so not true. So I just want to talk about that just for a brief second, right? There's so much more than just hopping in the gym. And if you can do that, that's amazing. My husband's like that. He loves that. But that's just not for me. I've never been able to be consistent with that. I'll get a membership. I'll go for maybe a week, if that, and then you won't see me again. So I'm not consistent with that. So something that I found, and I'm a strong believer that you can find something that you love. Like exercising can be fun. It really, really can. And you just have to find the thing that's for you. The gym may not be for you. It's not for me. The thing that I found that was fun is called Orange Theory. So this is where I go. And it's just another disclaimer. Now, if you try to go to Orange Theory, you're not going to be able to pay your mortgage, right? Because it's very, very expensive. I tell everybody, but don't worry about it because you might be out on the street, you might be homeless, but you're gonna be in shape. Okay. So that's the thing. It's very, very expensive. But I love it so much. And so I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions, and this can help you maybe find the thing that you enjoy. Okay. So let's look at it a little bit. One question you can ask is, do you like choosing your own workout? All right. So if you go to a gym, then of course you're able to choose your own workout. If you do something at home, maybe you pull up a YouTube video or have a tape or something like that, you can also choose your own workout. So if that's important to you, then the gym and maybe doing something at home is cool. Um, I'll usually use my husband in all these examples because we're polar opposites. That's important for him, right? Because he's like, okay, this week I want to work on legs, and that next week I'm gonna do biceps and da 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 da, da, right? Not me, right? So if you're like, nah, I really don't want to get into all that, you might consider a personal trainer or joining a gym that has some type of class. And Orange Theory is a class workout, so that's why I enjoy it so much. This is how my head looks at the end of the day, most days. Okay, like I said, I got a full time job. I'm an adjunct professor. I got 3 kids. I don't wanna think about a workout, okay? I do not wanna go inside of a gym and say, is this leg week? Oh, yeah, I gotta do my biceps. What machines am I gonna get on?" I don't got time for that, okay? So for me, it's a class. I love Orange Theory because I go in there and they're like, "This is what we doing." I'm like, "Cool," and I don't gotta think about it, okay? And like I said, the same thing with a personal trainer. They would already have it laid out for you. So that's very, very important for me. Okay. So let's look at another one. Does time matter? Okay. So again, if time is like, oh, don't really matter. Again, a gym, you can spend as much time in there as you want to. At home, you can spend as much time as you want to. If time is of the essence, then a personal trainer, because you're normally paying them by the hour. So that's very strict start and end time. And same thing with classes. They're a very defined time. And Orange Theory is 50 minutes, 55 minutes. And the way I think about it is, for me, like I said, I'm very busy, as I'm sure everybody is. And I don't got time to be spending a lot of time in the gym. So I want to get in and get out. Okay. Don't want to spend more than an hour. I'm not going to spend more than an hour in the gym. Now, my husband, the gym is very different for him. We actually have a gym room in our home, and so he works out here. But for him, it's more of a leisure, relaxation. After work, he normally has the game on, so he's going to spend an hour and a half to 2 hours in there. You see what I'm saying? That's not me. 50 minutes, and I need to be up out of there. So that's something to consider too. And another thing is, do you want to control the level of intensity? So, in the gym, that's all up to you. You can lift as heavy as you want. You can go as fast as you want on the treadmill. Same thing at home. Same thing with the personal trainer. He can make it as hard or as easy as it needs to be. With a class, not so much. Sometimes you can determine the intensity, but a lot of times, it's just like, hey, we're all doing this. So that's something to think about too if you want control over the level of the workout. For me, this is what I want to look like when I come out the gym. Okay. I want to feel like I might not make it. I might die. You see what I'm saying? Again, I want to burn as many calories as I possibly can in the shortest amount of time. That's always my goal. And so for me to burn a lot of calories, my heart rate needs to be up as high as possible. Okay. And so that's again why I love Orange Theory. 'Cause you do have a level of control in Orange Theory. But the workouts and everything, it's is intense. And so it gets it up 50 minutes. I'm sweating buckets. I'm looking like this. I burnt 400 calories. I'm good. I can't have 50 minutes where I'm walking or we doing something where my heart rate is barely getting up. I leave class and I done burned 150 calories. I can't have that. Okay. So intensity is of utmost importance to me when I'm thinking about a workout. So much so, I don't know if y'all remember this back in the day. Insanity. Y'all remember when Insanity was out? This is when I like what yeah, I think I had just graduated college, and you couldn't tell me nothing about Insanity. You're talking about hard? Oh my lord. You can just see what they look like. Like, that's why they call it Insanity. It was real, real crazy. But like I said and again, this is wrong, y'all, but I look at exercising as just more calories for me to eat. And so what I would do on Saturdays, right? I already knew. I told y'all about my slab of ribs. I already knew what I was having for lunch and dinner. Like it was ribs, it was baked beans, it was fries. And I knew how many calories that was. So what I would do is insanity is so hard. But again, I'm 22. And so I would do two of these workouts back to back. So one tape is about an hour. So I would go to my apartment gym, do two of them. So I stay in there for 2 hours, burn like 800 calories, and then go right and get a rack of ribs. So, yeah. So, needless to say, I can't do that level anymore, that all that hopping and jumping. But Orange Theory Fitness is a lot of fun for me, and it does still allow me to get my heart rate up enough where I can burn enough calories. So yeah, I just wanted to encourage you. Don't think that exercising is all about going to a gym and hopping on a treadmill. It's so much more than that. And these are just some ideas. I mean, you got Zumba, water aerobics if you like swimming. Like I said, Zumba if you like dancing, Pilates, spinning. Spinning is getting on a stationary bike. It's a class that you do with other people. So they might say, okay, we're going to go as fast as you can for 30 seconds. Okay, stop. Okay, stand up and bike for, or whatever. And you do it as a class and the time goes by really fast and it gets your heart rate up tremendously. And so I used to do that as well. Boxing, they have a lot of exercise classes that have boxing. I know in my city they have something called 9 round. And so I used to do that as well. That's a lot of fun. Bar, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's an exercise class that incorporates ballet. CrossFit, again, that's another real high intensity workout that I love. And then they have different type of boot camps and stuff. So normally all of these, they're at least going to give you a 1 day free trial, if not two or three. So normally they give you, classes where you can try it out. So I always say, do all the free trials and try everything out and you found the right one when you leave and you say, "Oh man, that was fun. I can't wait to go back tomorrow." That's when you know you found the right thing. So keep trying because like I said, the exercise is fun. I love going to Orange Theory. Like I'm upset when I can't go, like because I go to the 6 a.m. class. Well, I used to go to the 6 a.m. classes. I have a newborn that is not yet sleeping through the night, so I had to move to the 7:15 a.m. class. Um, but I'm upset if I have an 8 a.m. meeting. I'm like, I can't go today. So I enjoy going. I love going on the weekends. Once my kids get a little older and they can do for themselves in the morning, I'll start back going on Saturday mornings. Like I just love it. It's a lot of fun. And that's how you should feel about exercise. If it's something that you dread, that's probably not the right thing for you. So you can try to find something else. So, in conclusion, again, I just want to encourage you guys to just take care of your earth suit, man. Like I said, once you destroy this thing, you got to leave. You got to get up out of here. So, just try your best to take care of it. Make sure you're getting your annual physicals. That's very important. Most all insurance, will cover at least one physical a year. So, go ahead and do that. Talk to your doctor if you are in pain. I think this is like a man thing. I don't know how men will just can't even use your whole right arm or something like, "Oh, I'm good." I don't know what it is about that, but if you're in pain, go check it out and see what's happening. I don't care if my right pinky toe start hurting. I'm at the doctor the next day, right? Because I just wanna make sure everything good, we all good, is everything straight? I just need to know. So, don't be afraid to do that, and it's also know your numbers, like, know your blood pressure. Like I said, I'm still battling that to keep my numbers down. Blood pressure, that's one of the biggest killers, especially in the African American community. So you need to know what your numbers are, your cholesterol, all that type of stuff. Um, and I'm gonna show you one real quick thing. LabCorp on demand. Let me show you this real quick. So this is really cool. I don't know if you guys know this, but I found this out. So this is really cool. I don't know if you guys know about this, but if you Google LabCorp on demand, as you can see at the top of the screen, there's so many tests that you can get on your own. So of course, you can do your annual physical, but you may have already done your annual physical and you're wondering, like, I wonder what my numbers are now. There are so many tests that you can go get here. And at the top of the screen, you can see annual wellness. If you want to check on your hormones, fertility, your nutrition, just all type of stuff. So I'll just scroll so you can kind of see. Now it is all out of pocket, so you have to pay out of pocket. But just if you were wondering about your thyroid, for example, like you pay $89. You go to LabCorp, give the blood or urine or whatever it is, and they'll give it to you. I know when I was trying to get pregnant, my doctor's office, they're only gonna do but so many, well, really one ultrasound or urine test, but I wanted to know before then. And so I use this to measure the HCG. So of course you can, pee on a stick, but what really is reliable is the HCG in your blood. So I ordered this and went there and got that done. But yeah, just so many things. Prostate cancer, um, a nutrient test, if you're wondering about that, just wondering if you're getting the right vitamins and minerals and stuff, or if you're deficient in anything. Heart health, cholesterol. I've done that one. Diabetes risk for men, testosterone levels, um, thyroid, progesterone, just all type of stuff. So yeah, so just wanted to let you know that too. If you are a person like, I don't really want to go to the doctor like that, well, you can come on here and get your test that way as well. But it's really, really important to just know what's going on in your body so you can protect your earth suit. Okay, so that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you learned a little something. It's one of those things that once you are aware, once you know, you can't unsee it. So I'm hoping you know your number now, and now you're like, "Ah, would have told me that." Now I'm looking at all the calories and all the labels, and you might be saying, "Well, it's not just about calories; it's about carbs and sugars and all that." I personally think start with calories, and once you get that down pat, then move on to some of the others, 'cause calorie deficit, that's how you're gonna lose weight or gain weight, right? So, that's what I start with. Now that I've kinda mastered the calories, now my next thing is sugar, and I've been looking at some of the sugars that are in stuff. So, I started off at, about 170 pounds, and again, for my frame, I was very obese. And, I've worked my way down to 135, so I'm very excited about that, and I got 10 more pounds to go till I get to my goal weight, so I'm excited about that. I was with my, talking to my health coach the other day, and she told me I lost, like, 90 pounds of pressure on my joints by losing that amount of weight, so I didn't even know that. I was like, "Wow." So, yeah, I'm just trying my best for real this time to be healthy now that I can finally stop having kids. I'm really trying to be a little bit more healthy. And then also, I guess this is just a bonus content here. I know you might hear a lot about like the weight loss drugs and stuff like that, Ozempic and Wegovy. So, Ozempic is for people that have diabetes. But, when they were giving people with diabetes Ozempic, they noticed that they were losing weight. So they were like, aha. And so they renamed it, and it's a little bit different. And they renamed it Wegovy. So Wegovy is what they give to people that want to lose weight, right? And the active ingredient in both of those is called semaglutide. And so as you know, that kind of took off, and a lot of people was on that. And the company that makes those two, they were not able to keep up with the demand. And so what the government says, like, okay, we got a lot of demand. You guys can't keep up with it, and so we're gonna allow other companies to make this. No, they can't make it exactly like Ozempic and Wegovy. They have to mix something else in with it so that they're not exactly copywriting. Copywriting is probably not the right word, but they're not trademarking or stealing that company's medicine. So that's what has happened. And so that's why you see so many companies that can sell it and you don't need a doctor's prescription, because they'll take semaglutide and they'll mix maybe like B12, and B12 gives you energy. It's like a vitamin. So that's what a lot of companies are doing, and that's how they can be able to sell it without infringing upon Wegovy and Ozempic, and you don't need a doctor's prescription, because a lot of times you go to your doctor and you want Wegovy, they're like, "Oh, just exercise." And you're like, "Oh, gee, thanks. I've tried that." Because that was my story. I just I couldn't get the ball rolling for some reason. And for me, like I said, I don't know why, but I'm always thinking about food all the time. What am I have for breakfast? What am I have for lunch? What about dinner? It's so funny, even the people on my job, they laugh because they know my whole day is based around lunch. If I got an 11 o'clock meeting, okay, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna eat lunch. Right after that, if I got a 1 o'clock meeting, I'm like, okay, I gotta eat lunch by 11:30. But and so that was just always my thing. And so I ended up getting on the semaglutide from a local health spa, and it helps so much, because I know you hear a lot of negative things about it, but I did the shot and it helped me so much. It just quieted all that food noise. And so the first time in my life, I wasn't worried about what I was going to eat every second of the day and what snack and, all of that. I could just live my life. I was like, is this how skinny people feel? They don't think about food. And so it really helped me tremendously. And then I had my third son, and as soon as I had him, I got right back on that shot. But it made me so sick. I don't know what my third son did to me. So I was devastated because I was like, yeah, I'm about to get back on it. Started back on that shot and I was throwing up like crazy. But they also have a pill. So I take the pill now. And again, same effect. And I actually like that. That's much better than getting a shot every week anyway. So I'm kind of glad it happened like that. And but yeah, man, it just quiets the food. It's not making you lose weight, but it's just quieting that noise around you so you can just focus and you're not worried about eating all the time. And then even when I do eat, I don't want to eat 4 pieces of pizza. I just want to, or whatever the case may be. And so because of that, again, I'm not taking as many calories, which in result, yeah, I end up losing weight. So I've been doing that. I've been on that pill, and I'll probably be on it until I get to my goal weight of 125. But the problem is too, some people, they depend on that and they don't change their lifestyle, like we've been talking about, right? So they'll just depend on that. They don't start exercising. They're not looking at the calories and anything, and then when they get off of that shot or off of that pill, they blow back up. So the goal is, if you're when you're on that, go ahead and start changing your eating habits. Start working out. That way, when you get off of it, you've already built in those good lifestyle habits. So that's kind of what I've been doing and the way I've been using it. And I mean, I've really, really enjoyed it. So if you Google, semaglutide near me, I'm sure a health spa pop up. So that's what I did. So I just went to a local health spa, and most times, I mean, it depends on, you can do it online as well. Online places give it to you as well. But I go to a local place and they don't just give it to you. It's a whole program. So they bring you in, they weigh you. You have to go every week. You get weighed. They talk to you about fitness and nutrition. So, like, what exercises are you doing? You have to give blood work, and so they look at all your numbers. Like, okay, you need more vitamin D. You need more this, more that. And this week we're talking about snacks and healthy snacks. So they sit down, they talk to you. So it's a whole program, and everything. So it's really good. So I just wanted to put that out there. I know when you think of Ozempic, you think bad, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. It's really helped a lot of people if you use it in the right way. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. I can't believe I've talked this long. Oh yeah, last thing I want to say is, the whole thing about exercise, and one thing that really shifted my mind too is to understand that exercise is just really a lifestyle. When I stopped looking at exercise as I'm exercising so I can lose weight and start looking at it like even when I get to my goal weight, I'm still gonna be exercising. I'm gonna be exercising for the rest of my life. Just like I wake up and I eat every day, I sleep every day, I exercise. That's just something I do. So that switched my mindset as well. It's just something I do to be healthy. It's not something I'm doing so that I can lose weight. And so that's another way to think about it too. So before I get out of here, I just wanted to tell y'all what I'm gonna try to do. So my mini thoughts with Dr. T, I'm gonna come out with that every other Friday. I'm gonna really try to stick to that. It takes a little bit more time because I gotta put the deck together, the PowerPoint deck together, and all that. So I'm gonna do that every other Friday, and then I'm also gonna start reviewing these two shows on the OWN network. The OWN network has so many good dating shows. And normally they're for Black people, which is really cool too. So the Never Ever Met, they've come out with one episode and it comes out every Friday. So the first one aired last Friday and the next one will be today. So make sure you check that out. I'm going to be reviewing that. My husband's going to be on as well. So we're going to review that together. So check that episode out and then you can come on and join us and let us know what you think about it too. The premise of that show is there are 7 couples and they've met online. So they've been dating virtually, but they've never met each other in person. So they get this big house, all the couples come together and they're there for 3 weeks. And at the end of the 3 weeks, they have to decide whether they want to be together and make it official or if they're going to go their separate ways. And living with somebody is much different than just seeing them virtually. So it's a lot of drama that ensues. So we're going to be reviewing that. And then this is a new show that's coming out tomorrow on Saturday called Somebody's Son. And I had 3 sons, so I'm really excited to review that as well. And I think they said this one is about the mom gets to choose the woman for their son. So I would be like so good at this. But so yeah, I'm going to be reviewing these 2 shows and I'm going to drop those every Wednesday, okay? So every Wednesday I'll drop those 2 and then every other Friday I'll drop the mini thoughts with Dr. T. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for listening. And I will see you guys for episode 3 of Many Thoughts with Dr. T. And then also for the 2 shows, Never Ever Met and Somebody's Son. So hope y'all have a great weekend and I'll see y'all next week. See ya.